before the time of internet reviewers, there was
Daily Motion.
there was
Daily Motion.
there was a pair of internet podcasters. Average Joe, the Sumerian.
I don't think I'm nearly jacked
No.
enough to be a Sumerian.
No,
I don't think I'm jacked enough.
Novo Brow, there was Zangetsu, the 134. Okay.
For those who don't know, we're doing Conan.
Yeah.
What's
Hey,
up,
everybody.
I'm Average Joe Squad.
I'm Zangetsu 134. Welcome to another episode of Remember the Hyphen. The show where we look at comics, movies, and everything in between. So yeah, we're doing Conan, because why the fuck not? We don't really have
Conan's
anything.
awesome, that's why.
You know, more of
You
just
and I quote it so often at work. Like, how many times we've been doing, like, a really crappy day, and it's like, Crom. Just start praying to Crom.
There's no man, no beast, no woman that you can trust.
But this you could trust.
You can trust.
But, so, yeah, we're going to be doing Conan the Barbarian. We're going to be looking at the original two films. I have not seen the remake. I don't own
same.
it either. I've heard not good things about it, so I haven't found it yet. Maybe one day when I find it somewhere cheap.
I like the
I'll
video
pick it
game
up.
where you can make yourself have like a 15-foot schlong.
Oh god, I've played that game. That game's hard.
Yeah, I've heard it's
I
hard.
played like 25 minutes of that game, and I'm like, I fucking give up.
Yeah, I think most people say that, but
Yeah, so Conan the Barbarian. For those who don't know, we'll give a quick little history. Conan is an old school pulp character, originally done by where's this guy named? Robert Howard. Sorry.
yeah.
Losing my voice a little bit, but a lot of people have written Conan books. I have quite a few of them. I'm not going to show them all because he's seen them. I have a huge stack of them, and again, not all of them are written by him. So, but if you're interested in reading them, they're very, very good. They're very, very pulpish because they're written in like the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah.
And they're for pulp magazines, obviously, but there's some really good stuff in them. If you're going to read them, I would recommend getting these. These are the modern day reprints of these. These are probably the most affordable copies. They have there's illustrations in them. There's other versions that are kind of like more hardback, more kind of like nicer editions. If you're just looking for like a cheap copy to kind of palm through and like, find stuff out, get these. These are very nicely done. There's three volumes of these. There's some other ones, like one of them has like like Cole in it and some of his other works. I don't have those, sadly.
Now, isn't this also tied into Red Sonja, or is that just
It's kind of a funny story with Red Sonja, which that's another movie. I haven't watched that. We're not gonna talk about that.
I know of it from like internet reviews.
I know Arnold himself fucking hates it. That should say something.
Yeah.
But Red Sonja is a character Howard created.
Yeah.
That is like. Actually, no. Maybe I think I'm getting her mixed up with Valeria. My bad.
Yeah.
Valeria in the movie. There is a Valeria in the comics that is like totally different.
Yeah.
Than Valeria in the movie, which we're gonna get to.
Yeah.
Red Sonja, I think he did come up with, but I can't remember offhand. But
Which also, speaking of, currently Marvel actually I think got the rights to Conan.
So like I said, there's throughout the book there's little like illustrations and stuff. It kind of again these are nice volumes. Well, there's three of them. There's Coming of the Conan, the Sumerian, the Bloody Crown of Conan, and the Conquering Sword of Conan. And again, these are pretty cheap. You can pick these up anywhere. Plus, there's a shit ton of Conan books out there. These are the original Howard ones.
Yeah, I know. Currently, I think Conan is now a Marvel character, or like
They own the comic rights.
Yeah, because I know for a while I think he belonged to Dynamite, or at least the rights did.
Yeah.
But now I think they're back with Marvel again. Because I know there was a story going on where him and Dr. Doom were like fighting barbarians and shit. I'm like, well, I never knew I wanted this.
Well, because it's funny because like you had the Conan pulp stories.
Yeah.
And then Conan was a comic.
Yeah.
By Marvel, which is where where like Red Sonja comes from. I'm pretty sure she comes from the comics.
Yeah, which is funny.
I was getting her mixed up with Valeria.
Which is funny because I think nowadays Red Sonja is actually owned by Dynamite or like one of those other comic books.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because like I know there's at least one story where I think Mary Jane is dressed up as Red Sonja.
Yes,
like,
I've seen that.
Because like she was like in like a play that was about Red Sonja. I'm like,
yeah. So before we get into the movies themselves, which I don't have these on Blu-rays yet. I do have both on tape, and I have the DVD set. But I just wanted to, because like I told you, I have a great story of how I found these movies. So I was in college, And like I had never been like a very big sword and sorcery kind of guy, you know. I never.
Same, honestly.
It never really. Everybody was into it. Like
No.
I hadn't even played Skyrim at this point.
No.
But like I just never been into it as a genre. I had respect for it.
As do I.
And, you know, because like sword and sorcery is kind of similar to Star Wars when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, draws a lot of inspiration from sword and sorcery sources, but I just never really watched any of it. Well, I'm in college, and I'm chilling one night with my roommate and his girlfriend, Melissa. And we're, like, browsing through Netflix, trying to find something to watch, you know. Back when I had Netflix. And this pops up, the OG Conan movie. Because they didn't have the Destroyer on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why would you?
Yeah, which we'll get into that. But, I had heard of Conan, you know. Had never really read any of it. I had never watched it. I had never... but I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And I joked with him. I'm like, let's watch Conan. You know, it's Arnold. It's Arnold as a fucking barbarian. Why the fuck not? This will be great. This will be funny.
Yeah.
And we watched it, and I was like, holy shit, this movie's awesome.
Yeah. Like it is one of those movies that, like, you pop it in because you're like...
It's gonna be a joke.
Yeah,
and then you watch it and you're like, holy, this is a great fucking movie.
You know, this is actually one of the first really serious films Arnold was in that actually kind of...
Yeah.
Aside from, like, Terminator.
And he only has, like, 20 lines of dialogue in it.
Yeah.
You know, but... So, yeah, we watched the whole movie, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I almost was like, let's watch it again. Like, this is a good movie. I like this. So after that, I got into... reading the books. Like I went out and tried to find some, you know, and being like I thrift store shop a lot, I find constantly Conan books because like beyond what Howard wrote, there's all kinds of people that have written for him.
Yeah.
You know, there's tons of books to varying degrees of quality. You know, and you have the comics, but I enjoy the books. The books are fun.
Yeah, because like because I know one point in the contentions for this is that like Conan has like a signature sword in the movie, whereas in the books he never had like a signature sword.
Yeah, they changed some stuff in the movie up from the books. I actually think it works. It's one of those instances where I think the changes in it actually work to its benefit.
Yeah, because like I want to say they never actually explain the Riddle of Steel in the books, but in the movie they kind of give you more.
The Riddle of Steel is only from the movie. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
It comes from the movie. I mean, it's been incorporated into stuff since, but it really comes from the movie first off.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll just. I mean, like my biggest thing is like, it like kind of how we talked about earlier when we did our review of Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Everything about these is just very atmospheric.
Yeah.
I mean, like look at this cover. I mean.
Oh, that cover's iconic.
Yeah, I would love a poster print of this. And let's say I think this is an OG copy of this. Yeah, from '81 or from 1990. I mean, is when it freaking got released. So maybe this isn't an OG copy. It's pretty close.
Speaking of, look at the Conan the Destroyer. Like, look at how he's holding that sword.
Yeah.
There's one hand on the blade. I'm like, that's a good way to get your hand cut.
Yeah, which we'll get into the Destroyer in a little bit, but yeah, again, I don't have it on Blu-ray. I do have this, which is just the DVD. It has both of them. It's called Conan the Complete Quest, and I mean it's a fairly decent set.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's one of these ones where they're both on one disc.
Yeah, which was a thing for a long. I think they were like that saves on cost by making them dual disc.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where it's like, God, you remember when they were on double-sided DVDs?
Yeah,
you remember
I
double
remember
sides? Double sides are terrible. Nobody uses those anymore.
Yeah, they really are. Especially when they were super long movies, like Titanic, where I think you actually did have to flip it like halfway through.
I think they originally had to. I remember that was a big deal when I got my Blu-ray copy of Titanic, because I was like, I don't have to change the disc anymore.
I can imagine.
So, and really before we get into the plot, I just wanted to show these as well. I have the novelizations of both films. As I was telling you, I don't know what... Actually, you know what I think this is? This is a UK version. That's what this is. This because I remember, because it doesn't even have US on the back.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that's UK and Australia. That would be...
Yeah, so this
would
is
definitely be the European, like, / UK.
Tamworth. So yeah, I think I actually bought this off Amazon. I think I got imported.
Oh wow.
So this was prior to the pandemic where I could actually get shit imported properly.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's the That's the novel, the first one. There's another version of it. I want to get the U.S. one because it's got this cover on it. Just because I love that cover. And then this is the one for the Destroyer. Yeah, Adam, you thought the VHS copy was goofy. Take a look at that one.
Wow, that's
That's even goofier.
that's like that must be like a production shot.
Yeah.
Because that looks awful.
I don't know what that's from either. It also doesn't have any pictures in it.
No, Mr. Policeman, I'm filming a movie. No! Ah, you killed my mother. You took my father's sword.
So let's dive into these movies. Let's dive into the first one. So the movie starts out with a very young Conan, who I can't remember that actor's name, but he does a pretty damn good job. Like,
Yeah.
You believe that he's Arnold, basically. Talking with his father. In addition to, prior to that, you have that iconic intro that
yeah.
Adam butchered earlier.
Yeah, with Mako. Who's the wizard? What's the name of the wizard he plays?
That is...
For those of you who, if you don't know the name Mako, he's actually the guy who voiced Uncle Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender, as well as
It doesn't say. The only other people it mentions on the back are Mongol and Valeria.
as well as Aku and Samurai Jack. He's actually a very well-known voice actor, who sadly passed away a few years ago of I want to say lung cancer, I think, but he actually did a lot of live action stuff. Like, for instance, the guy who plays the wizard in this, Mako, he actually also was in a really awful Chuck Norris film where he was a martial arts master.
It just says Mako on the back. It doesn't. Fun fact.
Which is a shame.
You want to know who wrote the script for this? John Milius and Oliver Stone.
Huh.
Did not know until looking at this.
I actually kind of explain why that movie's a lot more quality than than Conan the Destroyer.
Say what you will about Oliver Stone. He writes a good script.
No, he's one of those directors, he's kind of a pain in the ass, but, when he does good work, he does good work.
Yeah. But so, you have Conan, and a lot of iconic lines early on in this movie.
Yeah.
The scene where his father is talking to him about the sword, and he's talking about the riddle of steel. And it's like you were saying, there's nothing in this world you can trust. Not man, not woman, no beast. But this you can trust. Yeah. Which leads into Conan's whole fucking village getting slaughtered by fucking James Earl Jones.
Because, I know a lot of people are they never talked about his, why Conan's the way he is, but I think doing it this way helps...
It kind of shows.
Establish you why he is the way he is.
They don't linger on it too long.
Yeah.
They show it. So basically what happens is James Earl Jones and his band attack the village. They kill everybody.
The old Tulsa Doom.
Yes, Tulsa Doom, played by James Earl Jones.
That's such a great name. Tulsa Doom.
And James Earl Jones doesn't get nearly enough praise for this movie because he's great in this movie.
Yeah.
He was hot off of Star Wars too at this point doing that voice,
Yeah.
It's he's great in this movie. They kill everybody except Conan and his mother. And then Tulsa kills his mom right in front of him.
Oh, yeah, because he does that weird hypnotist thing, because she's, gonna, try and stab the fucker.
Yeah. Well, and so they take all the children of the village, and they sell them into slavery.
Yeah.
So we see these shots of Conan, growing up, pushing the Wheel of Pain, I think is what it's called, the Wheel of Pain. And, I know, it's such a stereotypical name, the Wheel of Pain.
I like to imagine that after he did that wheel, the whole movie is just him wanting to get another wheel because he misses pushing the wheel.
So you have Arnold pushing it, and then he eventually gets he becomes like a cage fighter.
Yeah,
and he's really really good at it.
Yeah, too good at it.
Yeah,
actually,
he gets way too good at it.
To the point where I think his owner is
Well, that's the importance of that scene, where he's sitting on the table like this.
Yeah.
And they're asking him about
what's Conan?
What is best in life?
To kill your enemy, to see it.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women. Which at that point, that owner's like, okay, he's a caged fucking animal at this point.
Well, the thing was interesting is that they actually, because he did so well, they start teaching him how to read, and they give him knowledge.
I'm like,
knowledge too, but because it really helps to establish that he's not just a big muscle-bound barbarian. He was given knowledge. He's not only powerful, he has wisdom as well.
Yeah.
It's what makes him such an interesting character for being a barbarian.
Yeah, so they let him go. And it leads into this. I actually have a great story about this too, is that From
witch-
reading from
the
scene
witch
the scene where he's running.
Oh, I thought you were
Running
talking about
from not the witch.
The witch where he fucks for directions.
No, the scene immediately after when he gets free when he's running from the dogs. Apparently that was like. Those were real dogs, by the way, and I think Arnold fucked up at one point. Like actually, like he either hurt himself or like the dogs got to him or something during that scene where he's running. But so Arnold escapes and he kind of like climbs into this like cave.
Yeah.
With all these Atlantean like, excuse me, all these Atlanteans skeletons. It's kind of where he gets that one sword from, you know. And that,
Oh yeah, that's where I think he discovers Crom, or like he brings up Crom, I think, for the first time. Crom.
Yeah. So there's that, and we kind of just get these scenes of Arnold like just kind of just venturing
Traveling.
around, like
Yeah.
because he's lived his whole life either being a cage fighter or being a slave. So he just doesn't really
What
doesn't have anywhere to go.
Anywhere to go, what to do.
Yeah. So he kind of just wanders around. He fucks the witch for directions.
Yeah, because that's when
That scene is so awkward to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I love this movie, but that scene is awkward.
And it's weird because, like, she's like a road with snakes, or like a road, like,
and then she, like, turns into, like, that demon.
and then explodes because, like, she gets knocked in the fire. It really kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's really one of my only things. I feel like there was probably more to that in the original script, which we might need to dig that up at some point, because I think there were a couple different drafts of this movie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And look at it, but I don't even think in the novelization it even goes anywhere with that.
No,
I think it was just one of those novelizations that was like straightforward.
I think it's around that point he finally figures out a way to get to Tulsa Doom because he wants revenge on him still.
It's right around there. He runs into and I'm blanking on that guy's name. My bad. Mongol, played by Jerry Lopez. You know, he saves them.
Oh yeah.
And they have that iconic thing, you know, where they're kind of like he saves them because he's like chained up because he's a thief.
Yeah.
You know, they were like leaving him, like whoever chained him up was obviously leaving him to just be, you know, be punished by just starving to death or getting eaten. So Conan frees him, and you know they pal around for a little bit, and they have that scene where they're sitting around the fire talking about
Yeah.
like his god, you know, like he prays to the four winds. You know, you got that scene of fucking
yeah.
Arnold being like, "Crom laughs at your four winds."
Oh yeah.
He's just sitting there shitting on these four winds.
Which is hilarious because Crom is like lame.
Well, Crom doesn't grant any wishes.
Yeah,
he doesn't listen to prayers. He doesn't do shit for you, basically.
Yeah, unless you're like doing something awesome. Then he's like, real shit though?
Yeah, real shit though. But yeah. It's like one of those iconic scenes that everybody parodies is that, you know, Crom laughs at your four winds.
Crom laughs at your four winds. Like, well, that and later on when he does the prayer.
Yeah. So they're thieves, obviously, and one night they're breaking in somewhere. And they run into our final little character in our band
Valeria.
here, Valeria, the Queen of Thieves, played by the fantastic Sandal Bergman. My bad. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, and she's awesome.
Yeah,
She's probably my favorite. I actually like her more than kind of like Conan, honestly.
Yeah, like, because like at this point, Conan's just kind of wandering around. Like, a lot of this movie is just about Conan deciding what he wants to do with his life.
Yeah. Trying to discover the riddle of steel.
Yeah, but like Valeria and Mongol actually have like character to them and like stuff that they want to do.
Well, that and like, you know, he wants to go after Tulsa. You know, he remembers the symbol of the snakes.
Yeah.
Two snakes.
The snakes
Facing each other.
facing each other.
Yeah, like that. So he obviously wants to go after that. Well, they break in and pull off this huge heist, you know, and they've got all these people, and they show these scenes of like them getting completely fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And, you know, Valeria and Conan make love to one another. Then they get captured by this king.
Oh yeah, because the king wants them to get his daughter back from Tulsa.
From Tulsa, yeah. And it's funny that they send Mongol away first, thinking like, okay, Mongol's gonna go and get help. You know, so
Yeah.
they lie to the king flat out and tell him that like oh no, like our friend, he was eaten by lions. They bring him in captured. And the king's like, at first you think the king's gonna just like, okay, now I'm gonna fucking kill you because you lied to me.
Yeah.
No, he just starts laughing because he thinks that shit's hilarious. So he eventually strikes up a deal with them. Well, and what happens is Conan decides, I'm gonna go do this by myself.
Yeah.
You know, so he leaves Valerian Mongol, which is a fucking terrible idea.
Very much so.
Yeah. Well, because what happened? I remember what happened now. How they got onto this. Sorry, it's been a while.
No,
I probably should have rewatched it.
Yeah, same.
But I've seen it enough times to just know it, at least pretty well.
Yeah.
The place they break into, remember, it's one of Tulsa's places. So because they steal that one serpent thing.
I guess this is also this part where Tulsa's like watching an orgy and he just turns into a giant snake.
Yeah. And it looks. God, I love this movie, but man, that effect looks terrible.
No, like all the snake effects are really like the one where he takes a snake and he turns into an arrow. I'm like,
yeah, that shit. I'm like, come on, man, I'm not believing that.
Yeah,
Get
like,
out of here with this.
For as much as how nice everything looks, like in terms of making you believe this is like Samaria or wherever.
Oh yeah, it's an extremely beautiful movie.
It's an extremely beautiful movie, but some of the effects have not aged very well.
Fair. I mean, you gotta suspend your. I mean, you gotta remember this. This is the movie where Arnold had to stop working out because he couldn't wield the sword properly because of how fucking massive he was.
His muscles were.
So he had to like dumb his muscles down a little bit just to be able to train with this thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Tulsa's pissed at him because they stole that on.
Well, he interrupted their snake orgy.
Well, no, that's later.
Damn it, guys! Can a man turn into a snake?
Yeah, so they steal that snake emblem. So that's what leads the king to convince them. Later on, it's revealed the king gets fucking murdered after they leave.
Yeah.
Which I think that's in the movie. Maybe it was a cut scene. I remember them talking about it in the doc. Because there was a documentary on the DVD about the making of this movie. And so anyway, Conan's idea is, well, I'll disguise myself as part of these followers of Tulsa, and I'll just sneak in.
Yeah, no one's gonna believe
the scene where he talks his way into it is funny as fuck.
Well,
I mean, like he's just telling that guy like Father, I feel inadequate and shit. Like he's like talking to him like he takes him off to the side, right? And he's like, is this your robe, your priest robe? It is all I own. It's all you'll ever need. He just steals it, and it's like, what the fuck?
That guy didn't die like when he punched the fucking camel to death.
Oh my god, yeah, that infamous. There's an infamous scene in this movie. It's past this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but
basically, Conan punches this camel.
Yeah, because it spits at him. It spits on him.
In real life, Arnold actually punched it and fucking killed it.
Which I don't think he did on purpose, and he actually felt very remorseful about it. Because he was like, I didn't.
Well, because I think he was drunk. I think he was drunk when they filmed it.
Yeah.
And he literally killed this camel. And PETA had a fucking nightmare over this movie.
Which is hilarious because again, like they do it later.
They bring it up in the second one movie.
Yeah, they do it in Destroyer. Which I'm like,
why?
Why?
I mean, it's funny as hell until you know that the camel's actually fucking dead.
It kind of reminds me this in another film from the '80s, the Beastmaster with the black tiger that they used. They spray painted black. And didn't use a paint that would be toxic, or that was toxic, and the tiger licked the paint off and killed it, and it died. I'm like...
Yeah, it's like...
Why?
Terrible shit, but anyway.
Why?
Anyway, they obviously see through Conan's bullshit.
Well, yeah, because he's a 7-foot-tall Austrian.
Yeah, they capture him.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of him. Then it leads to this infamous scene of him and Tulsa talking. Well, no, it's before that. The scene where he and Tulsa are talking.
Yeah.
And, you have Conan basically confronting Tulsa for the first time. The person that killed his family, killed his whole village, took my father's sword. Why? Yeah. So, and it's a really this is one of those scenes that I always point to when people tell me Arnold can't act. Because it's a great scene between him and he and James Earl Jones play off each other very, really well.
Yeah.
Because Tulsa brings up, the riddle of steel after. Arnold brings up the fact that you killed my entire family, my village, and he's like, to which Tulsa doesn't even remember it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, I was bloodthirsty in my youth when I sought the riddle of steel. And so Conan's instantly like, oh, you know the riddle of steel. Mm-hmm. And Tulsa's like, oh, shall I tell you it? Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. Look around you. And he does that hypnotizing. He makes this woman walk off this cliff and fucking kill herself for him, and he's just like, what is steel compared to the hand that wields it?
Yeah,
which is an interesting argument.
Yeah.
Like what's more powerful, a weapon or the person wielding the weapon?
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I I would argue it's the person.
They bring that argument up in KOTOR too.
Yeah.
Honestly, that gets brought up a lot. You know, like, what is a Jedi without their lightsaber? Or like, what is a Jedi without the Force? You know, it kind of brings up. It goes to again, like, is it the weapon that's powerful, or is it the person wielding it?
Yeah, which I think they do kind of go along with it. It is people, but not in the way Tulsa believes it.
Yeah.
Like, because Conan is powerful, like, far more powerful than Tulsa in certain ways. Like, he's... Because, you know, for all of his... In kind of a lot of ways, there's also a lot of parallels between him and Tulsa. You know, like the fact that both of them started off as savage barbarians, and, you know, eventually, as the movies constantly state, you know, Conan did eventually become a king by his own hand. In kind of the way that Tulsa's trying to do here, but through his cult and, like, the strange religion he's got around himself, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And so this leads into the scene where Conan's crucified. And if I remember correctly, I think Arnold actually does bite that vulture. That was real.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of animal stuff going in here that I'm like, oh, I don't know if you can get away with this now.
You know, as he was crucified up there, he's like, "Forgive them, Crom. They don't know what they do."
So, yeah. You have that, and then Valeria and Mongol eventually rescue him. But he's basically close to death, if not right there.
Because they had to take him to Mako to actually heal him, I remember.
Yeah. And so Mako does this ritual where basically, like... Forgive me, I'm going to paraphrase this because it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make... Logically, it doesn't make any sense. But
no.
it's Conan, so I'm going to let it slide.
Well, then there's magic. So
yeah. They basically have to, like, fight off these demons trying to take Conan's soul. And eventually he gets up the next morning, you know, and he recuperates and he becomes well again.
Yeah.
To the point where he's like, all right, now I'm going to actually kill this fucking snake man. And so they go back and I think this is where they get the princess back, is it not?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, this is the infamous scene where the actress that played Valeria actually almost injured herself in this scene, if I remember correctly.
I didn't know this part.
It's in the behind the scenes. I might have to loan you the DVD and have you watch it because it's really interesting. Mm-hmm. It's one of those behind the scenes docs where it's like actually fucking interesting, and like some where it's boring.
Yeah, where
as
it's
hell.
just kind of like they're talking about like, oh, we use this like it's like
yeah, it's not what I want. I want to know about how they made the movie.
You made it, yeah.
Well, they break in, you know, grab her, and then they leave. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happens.
That is, I'm pretty sure because I think
forgive me. It has been a while. I need to rewatch the films. I probably should have done that prior to this, but this was spur of the moment.
Yeah,
this whole show is spur of the moment.
It really. We act like we plan everything out, and then we just kind of were like, "Well, let's do this week."
I remember when I told Jared the one day I was talking with the show to Jared. Jared's like, "Now, what do you guys use to edit?" And I'm like, "What's editing?"
Yeah, we can't edit.
I told him like, "Yo, this is guerrilla filming. What do you mean?
Yeah,
this is guerrilla warfare filming. We just make this shit up as we go."
I always tell people like, we're doing a podcast. We don't like.
This is on the spot. I mean, if we were actually doing something, you and I both know how to edit.
Yeah. Well, then like
we took video productions.
If we were to edit this, the most I'd be is like maybe if we got a theme song,
and maybe I'd put up some pictures of stuff.
Yeah, like, but like even then, like our conversations, we don't like the whole point of the show is
it's not relying on video. It's just
relying on us having a conversation.
Yeah,
exactly. But
so anyway, getting back on track to what I was saying. But anyway, there's this scene where Valeria is fighting this guy, right?
Yeah.
And she twirls the sword around. And forgive me if I'm paraphrasing the story. If I remember correctly, the actress in the doc talks about, I think she almost severed her thumb.
Ooh.
Because, like, she flipped the sword around the wrong way. Or, like, she hit the one stunt guy and almost cut his thumb off. Because you remember, they're using real swords.
Yeah, they are.
These aren't fake. These are real fucking swords.
Really, I don't know why they would have them.
They trained with these things for, like, months.
I don't know why they would have them that sharp, but...
I'm actually going to look it up real quick, just so we actually know the story we're telling here.
Yeah. But... So, like, basically, because, they managed to get off with the princess after they have this fight. Now, as they're leaving, Tulsa decides to get a little bit of revenge on Conan by
killing Valeria.
Yeah, via turning a poisonous snake into a arrow? Like, it's really weird what it does, because, like, she gets hit with it, but like you never see the arrow in her, so like you don't. It's really weird what exactly happens there. But sadly, she.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it was Berg. Okay, so Bergman's finger was nearly cut off during a fight scene. Instead of asking if the actress was okay, Milius allegedly shouted Valeria would never let that happen.
Nice.
Schwarzenegger seriously injured his knee on set as well when he was thrown from a horse. Despite barely being able to walk, the real-life tough guy finished the last weeks of the shooting. Because it's fucking Arnold, my man.
Yeah, because
Arnold's
Arnold's like,
badass.
yeah, like Arnold.
Yeah, that's what I remember is they actually show the scene because you can see it in the movie when it
Yeah.
happens. You know, they cut away from it, but she almost cut her finger off. Which I think she still has that sword too. I think Arnold has a replica or he has the original.
The original, yeah. Which I mean, why wouldn't you not? Because that's a sweet sword.
Especially because Arnold's been trying to get that King Conan movie going for like years now.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind seeing like an older Conan thing, but I don't know.
I would too. I would like to see it.
It'd be interesting.
I remember him saying the rights were the issue on that.
Yeah. So now this part's kind of sketchy for me because I know they get her back to Mako, but like I can't remember exactly why he can't like heal her.
Well, no, she dies like right then
Okay.
there. So he buries her basically. Actually, no, he doesn't bury. He burns. He does the Viking.
Yeah,
thing
the
where he
Viking
burns
funeral
her.
thing. Yeah.
Well, at that point, you know they have the princess and Tulsa's gonna like come after them basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Conan and Mongol basically just being like, okay, like you know we're gonna have this last stand. You know, if we kill him, we kill him.
Yeah.
If we die, we're taking as many of them with us as we can. So they chain the princess up to this stone. They're kind of like be like we got her right here. You want her? Come get her.
Yeah. And like he makes a bunch of traps there too.
Yeah, they make a bunch of traps. You know, like using skeletons and stuff that are there because it's the remnants of like an ancient battle.
My favorite is like the soldier that somehow died on the horse, and they're both skeletons. I'm like, did the horse just stand there and like be like, oh, don't worry, Wilbur, we're gonna get the. Oh, you're dead.
Shit.
I guess I'll just wait. I'll just stand here and wait until I die.
There's a story with that in that. There's got to be a backstory to that somewhere. But anyway, so Tulsa finally arrives, you know, and we get this probably what is the best. I would actually argue that is Arnold's best scene in his acting career.
Oh, where he prays
when he prays to Crom at the end of the movie, because it's a powerful scene, and like
if I may,
yeah, please do.
Crom, I had never prayed to you before. I do not have the tongue for it. No one will remember this day, not you, nor me, nor anyone else. All that matters is that two men stood before an unsurmountable odds. If you can grant me power to crush my enemies, I thank you. If not, then the hell with you. Or grant me the
grant me revenge.
Grant me revenge.
Talks about getting revenge, and if you do not listen, to hell with you.
I can imagine he does that like when he goes to McDonald's and he wants like a certain Happy Meal toy. Please, I want.
Todd.
I
never prayed to.
I want the Paw Patrol. If you do not give me the Paw Patrol, then the hell with you.
But yeah, and it leads to this. Just, you know, obviously Conan and Mongol just fucking annihilate like everybody.
The thing is, like Mongol, like I think has like a big fucking hammer that he fucking. Or no,
he's a bow guy. He's an archer.
Because I think maybe I'm thinking of Destroyer. Because
you're thinking of Destroyer, my man.
Yeah, my man.
Destroyer.
My bad.
So, but it leads into Conan's about to get killed by this one guy. When all of a sudden, like, Valeria comes out of nowhere and she's a Valkyrie now.
Yeah, do you want to live forever?
Yeah, so, like implying she's a Valkyrie, you know, because I think it even Conan mentions it in the second film when when the person, which we'll get to, brings up the idea of bringing Valeria back.
Yeah.
She's at the right hand of Crom. like, you know, like, just bringing that up and stuff, but so, eventually Tulsa leaves. I mean, like, he obviously realized I'm getting my ass kicked. I need to leave.
Yeah.
I think he does try to kill the princess. She's like, I remember the princess like, don't leave me. And then like, she's like, no, wait, don't fucking kill me either. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you get this, and this is probably, I argue that the ending of this movie
is like perfect.
Not only that, I don't know if you've ever noticed this or put this comparison together. Have you ever noticed how much it's like Apocalypse Now?
Oh yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah.
How it's very similar to Apocalypse.
Yeah, like where
which came out. I mean, this came out in '81. Apocalypse came out 2 years prior.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the ending of Apocalypse Now is Captain Willard killing Colonel Kurtz.
Yeah, because he basically realized this dude is just.
Yeah. Finally just killing him in front of this audience of people.
Yeah.
Well, that's similar to the ending of this. Is that Conan? He sneaks up on Tulsa.
Yeah, because he's like doing this ritual or something like
And
that.
he sneaks up on Tulsa, and he just proceeds to just fucking chop
To be
his
fair,
head off.
I love the part where he's like trying to convince Conan not to kill him. He's like, were it not for me, you would not be who you are.
Yeah, he starts doing this like meta shit where he's like you're the reason, I'm the reason you exist.
Yeah.
Then Conan's first response is just cut his fucking head off.
Well, gee, when you put it that way, fuck yeah. My favorite part is the part where like you actually see his head roll like 4 or 5 different downstairs.
The best part is
it's fucking hilarious.
The scene where Arnold's like holding him and just
Yeah.
like fucking chopping. That ain't a stunt double. That's literally Earl Jones taking the fucking beating from Arnold. I'm just like, damn, man.
Yeah, Earl.
You gotta remember, Earl Jones was an Army Ranger.
Yeah, so he's just like,
he's been through some shit.
I'm afraid of this fucking 7-foot tall Austrian man. I've seen fucking worse.
I mean, the scene where like he's holding the snakes and shit. Those are real snakes.
Yeah.
Because Earl Jones, one of the Army Ranger things Earl Jones had to go through was he had to like sleep with a snake, like to the point where like it wouldn't hurt you or anything. And it's just like, he's just like, they're like, he's like, you want us to get a snake out? He's like, no, I got it. It's okay.
He's just like,
damn, okay.
Yeah, no, he's just like, yeah, let the 7-foot tall Austrian man wail on me. I can fucking take it.
Yeah, so the end of the movie is just he kills Tulsa. He avenges Valeria. He avenges his village.
Yeah.
And it ends with that classic shot of like bearded Conan with the crown.
Yeah. But doesn't it also like the queen or the princess actually like asked to like for him to stay with her and be like his king, or is that's still?
I think that's the second movie.
Because I could have sworn I thought the princess here still did that too. Like
maybe she did. I almost swear there's 2 different cuts to this movie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like I don't know why. I feel like maybe there was a work print I watched somewhere that had different shit in it.
But I know the king thing. But yeah, no, that scene where he's like
at the end where it's just the monologue going on. For a long time in college, I had that as my background on my laptop because it's such a badass shot.
Yeah, because it implies that like Conan eventually will be this great king.
Is a story for another time.
Well, then like it really cements this idea that like Conan would not like is just he for all his adventures and stuff he ends up alone and like.
Which leads into our sequel, Conan the Destroyer. Which...
Yeah.
A couple things before we dive into this train wreck of a fucking movie.
No, yeah. Which sadly, I think I know this one a little bit more than the actual good one.
It's good. I'm glad you know, because I've only watched it once. I don't really have that urge to watch it again. So, this came out, and this was a huge success.
Yeah, no.
I mean, people were fucking crazy over this shit. This sparked a revival of Conan stuff.
It kind of sparked a new desire into like sorcery. Yeah. I actually argue it's one of the reasons why Dungeons and Dragons became more popular because of the.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, what happened is. This is rated R.
Yeah.
For good reason. Well, in an effort to reach more of an audience, this is rated PG. And it is also, this is 2 hours and 8 minutes. This is an hour and 41 minutes.
Which, as someone who...
Which also, someone wasn't kind and didn't rewind his damn tape.
Which, because this April, we're actually going to do, like, much like how because my birthday's in April, much like how we did the Fantastic Four month for his birthday, we're going to do RoboCop, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit now, but we're going to bring it more. If your franchise is R-rated, do not make it the next one like PG-13 or PG because you want to try to get to a broader audience. Like, you already made it so that anyone that's unable to watch an R-rated film, like they're not going to be able to want to go and see the first one. Especially because this one has so much ties to the first film too.
Yeah, well, and there was so much stuff cut out of this in the script. Because when this started, this was literally, from what I've read, and forgive me if I fuck up any details, I saw this in a doc somewhere. These two were obviously supposed to be more connected. This was supposed to literally be a direct sequel.
Yeah.
Fun fact, its story is written by Roy Thomas and Gary Conway. Marvel fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Anyway, they wanted this to be PG, so... Tone down on the violence, tone down on the sex, tone down on the blood. Basically everything that, you would expect from a fucking Conan movie.
Well, not only that, you know, if it had been PG-13, they might have been able to fix this a little bit more. It wouldn't be nearly as perfect, but at least there'd be a little bit more violence. I don't. But the problem is, when this was being made, PG-13 was almost as bad as an R.
Yeah.
So they had to go down to PG. But like, yeah, like so already you. The other thing is this movie looks way cheaper than the first film.
Oh my god, it definitely does.
Like,
it's also weird. Like Mongol's not in this.
yeah, they switched
There's
him
no
with a different thief.
yeah, there's no mention of him.
And the new thief character sucks.
Yeah, he's
you know,
completely
the
fucking
bonding, it's flowers.
it's fucking stupid.
Well, they just have probably the best line in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still everything they had.
We didn't have
enough
time. Yeah, I mean, like, as much as I don't like this movie, it has some points in it I enjoy.
Like, I like the I forget her name. The lady from View to a Kill.
I forgot she's in A View to a Kill.
Um,
Grace Jones?
Yeah, Grace Jones. Or I think she's also known as Mayday, but no, Mayday was the name of her character in A View to a Kill. But Grace Jones is great as this female barbarian.
Yeah. So the whole point of this movie is basically Conan kind of gets dubbed into helping this queen the evil queen Taramis, as the back of the box tells me.
Both her life and her virginity must remain intact. I can definitely do one of those two things.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember reading somewhere there was like a huge sex scene between him and the evil queen in it at one point. Something like that. There was a huge sex scene and it got cut out because of them cutting the rating. But they're supposed to go find this magic treasure. If they return with the treasure and the virgin, the queen promises to bring Valeria from the first movie back to life.
You know.
So at that point, Conan's like, "You have my attention."
You know.
And yeah, basically she has obviously shocker. The queen plans to kill both him and the princess
because I think she wants to sacrifice her to this god that will give her like ultimate power or something.
It's something so stereotypical, which is
like
it's such a shame compared to the first one because the first one I argue was like really groundbreaking and shit.
Like it,
and then you get this, and this is just like. This is like the fanfic.
This film
version.
relies way more on like magic and like more traditional sword and sorcery stuff compared to Conan the Barbarian,
which was really more character driven.
More character driven, and what magic there was very.
This movie almost feels more like the other characters drive it rather than Conan, which is like I'm not here to see these other characters. I want to see fucking Arnold.
Because like Mako plays a much bigger role in this, despite being not nearly as important of a character in the first film.
Yeah.
And like, not only that, like the sorcerer they go up against is really lame because his magic power is he can put them inside like a funhouse mirror maze.
This does have one of the funniest lines in it that me and him will quote at work all the time.
Oh,
you remember I did that the one guy the one day when he just kept talking to me and I was like, enough talk.
Oh yeah, enough talk.
Enough talk.
Oh yeah, or Conan just murders that dude.
This dude's just monologuing at Conan and Conan's just going like, enough talk. Just fucking stabs him.
Which is so weird out of character for Conan because Conan's one of those characters like I do think they also kind of dumb his character down to make him more of like just a traditional barbarian.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the first film, Conan is, well, yes, he's a savage and he's a warrior. There's a wisdom to Conan that like makes him so interesting. It's like Thor in like the Marvel universe. Like, yeah, he's this powerful warrior, but you know, Thor does.
He's not an idiot.
Yeah, he's not an idiot. Although Thor, admittedly, can be kind of at least.
Should have gone for the head.
Should have gone for the head.
But yeah, I mean, again, neither of us have seen the remake, so we're really only going to comment on these two.
Oh my god, the demon at the end he fights looks so fucking bad.
Dude, the only thing that looks worse than that is the fucking demon at the end of the Spawn movie.
Yeah. Either that or the giant rock monster from Star Trek V.
Yeah.
Which they rightfully cut out.
I don't think I'm taking a stretch when I say you and I both prefer this.
Yeah.
The first one.
If you have to watch either of them, watch Conan the Barbarian.
Watch the first one.
Don't watch The Destroyer. Unless you like want to laugh. I will admit it's kind of fun in a bad way.
It's so bad it's good, basically.
Yeah, it's at least entertaining. You know, and that's usually my motto with bad movies is if it's at least entertaining... Like, if I get a laugh out of it, I at least enjoyed it. Now there is also Red Sonja, but I do think that's not actually supposed to be Conan.
No, it's not. Actually, it's supposed to be Conan, but it's somebody else.
Because they couldn't get the rights to Conan.
I have that movie right here, actually.
Now they're also
we can't really talk about this because neither of us has seen this.
No.
This movie I've heard is just
I've seen a
terrible.
review of it from a person I no longer watch, but
I know Arnold hates this movie. That's enough for me.
Also, the kid from Surf Ninjas is in that. That's actually where he got his start.
God damn.
Yeah, he's the little kid in that. But
God damn.
now, before you guys ask, this Conan is not the same Conan as the talk show host.
It's not even spelled the same way. You animal.
Could it? You know what would have been hilarious? Because like Conan, the Tonight Show host is like a big nerd. Like, wouldn't it have been hilarious if he had Arnold come dress up like Conan the Barbarian to have him like host the show for a night?
Jesus.
Hello and welcome to Conan Tonight.
Oh, and fun fact, you know who the evil queen in this is?
Who?
It's Valeria. It's the same actress.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Look at this.
They're she has a good range because like I couldn't have told that was her.
Yeah, that's her.
Huh. So she got dick so good by Conan that when she died, she became a lesbian.
God.
That actually explains a lot.
Like I said, we're not going to talk about this too much because I haven't seen it. God damn, I've heard it's so terrible.
No, you're not missing out.
That's not even the traditional Red Sonja outfit, so fuck off.
Yeah, because like they're like, well, that's
nobody was going to wear that.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was you're not missing much. Probably one of the dumbest things in that movie. So like, there's this weird sea serpent thing they have to fight in like water. And it's hilarious because you can clearly tell it's like on like a pole or something. So like it constantly keeps swimming in a circle. Well, Arnold wrestles it and he's like stuck on it. It doesn't look like he's stuck at all. It looks like he's like riding on something. I almost want to hear Arnold go wee. But I love it because eventually he goes, "I can't kill it. It's a machine." I'm like, machines? This is a sword and sorcery flick. What are you fucking talking about? And like they kill it by ripping its eyes out, and it like screams in pain. And I'm like, but you're a machine.
There also was a Conan animated show.
I've never seen it.
Have you? I've never seen it. I've heard it's not that great.
Okay, so
was it Conan the Adventurer?
Yeah, because they couldn't call him a barbarian.
Well, no, I'm thinking actually that's the TV show I'm thinking of. There's a live action TV show.
There's a live action TV show?
Yeah, Conan the Adventurer. That's actually what it's called. I don't remember what the animated show is called.
I think it is called Conan. I think because it's a tie into that TV show as much as it is like. So, this
PG Conan doesn't fucking work.
Oh yeah, I know because he can't kill anybody and he fights demons. So his sword is magical and he creates like these portals that he sends the demons to like a parallel universe.
Can you imagine like a Stars Conan show where he's just fucking destroying people left and right? I'd watch it. I'd watch the hell out of that.
To be fair to the cartoon,
somebody needs to make that.
To be fair to the cartoon, at least Conan makes more sense as a cartoon character than say Rambo.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the Rambo show.
Or the RoboCop cartoon, where he's Inspector Gadget for some reason.
What about Saturday Morning Watchmen?
Oh no, Adrian! The Reds are polluting the city lake! What do we do? John can give you cancer, and he turns into a car.
It's the dumbest shit. I'm glad Alan Moore finds that shit funny.
Well, yeah, because it offended him less than
the actual movie.
Like the only thing Alan Moore likes that has ever been adapted is the Justice League episode where they adapted for the Man Who Has Everything.
Yeah.
Because it's at least as accurate as it possibly can, because they couldn't use Robin because of the stupid Chris Nolan Bat Family embargo.
But anyway, guys, that's really gonna do it for this. Any final thoughts just on these two movies, Adam?
Yeah, it's kind of funny seeing how, like how much like this movie has influenced pop culture. Because like I know so many like shows and movies and cartoons that have parodied Conan the Barbarian, and it just kind of shows just like I know a lot of people think that this is kind of just a generic barbarian movie, but like I think it's mostly just because it's become so ingrained with our pop culture.
Yeah, I mean this is really just what everybody parodies.
Yeah, or thinks of when you think of a barbarian character. But I think I think the whole reason Conan has been able to survive for as long as it has is because it is so defining of the genre. You know, so well, I know the remake is not good. I at least know I think that Conan will eventually return again.
Especially because, again, Arnold has been talking about getting this King Conan movie up off the ground.
And I
for
personally would
a
love
decade.
to see it.
I think he said really a lot of it is just the rights.
Yeah, I would love to see them do it. You know, because like I think doing a story about an older Conan who, you know, maybe misses the adventure, or like he's been.
I mean, plus, have you seen Arnold lately? He's still fucking ripped.
No, and he's still jacked.
He could still fucking do it.
Like, granted, I would hope they don't do the thing where like he dies at the end, or if they do, like at least have it be that he's reunited with Valeria in the afterlife. But you know, I either that or maybe he even have it like he finds like another barbarian and he sees like himself in the barbarian, so he like because he doesn't have an heir, he like trains him to be him. And,
Yeah,
like,
just something like that. Give him the character a good send off if you're gonna do something like that.
like do something like what like Rocky's gotten with Creed.
Yeah,
Where like he had one really great movie with Rocky Balboa, and then he kind of takes a back seat to like train this next character or something like that. You know, something really fitting.
Yeah.
But,
So, I guess rating wise, overall, Conan the Barbarian, I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I love this fucking movie.
I definitely give it a 9 out of 10 too because it's pretty much like one of those perfect movies that like you
I can put this on. If this is on TV, I'll pop this on and just watch it.
yeah. Conan the Destroyer, however,
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, and I think I'm being generous.
I'm gonna give it like a 4.
I mean, I think I'm being generous.
Like I'm gonna give it in order to get to 3, a 1 or 1 to 3 for me, you have to be like just
Absolutely fucking
garbage,
awful.
like Birds of Prey or like
Suicide
Squad or Dark Phoenix, but
any of the Transformers live action movies.
yeah, but at least with except for Bumblebee because I haven't seen it and I've heard it's actually good, but I would probably I give this a 4 because while it is not what I wanted, it's at least funny enough that I can like if someone's
it has some redeeming moments.
yeah,
in
like
it.
and like I said, I actually like the ending where Conan rejects the princess. He's like, no, if I'm going to become a king, it'll be by my own hand. Which
that's Conan for you.
he's talking about California becoming governor. But you know, I can't recommend The Destroyer to people, but like if you're like me and you like to watch a bad movie every once in a while just because it's at least funny to watch, I guess you could watch it. I've certainly seen worse. But
So, and again, if you guys are interested in picking up any of the actual Conan books, like I said, pick up these volumes. These are cheap as hell on Amazon anymore, and again, they're illustrated. It basically collects everything, including some of the stuff he didn't finish.
Oh.
So,
that's
they're
pretty neat.
published by is that Ballantine? Yeah, Del Rey Ballantine Books. So, and they're very, very nice volumes. So, because other than that, if you're gonna get Conan books, you're gonna end up like getting the trades, because a lot of these I don't think have ever been reissued.
And I think Marvel, is just now currently releasing like older volumes.
Yeah,
of
they're doing like
comics.
the epic collection.
So if you want to look those up too, I don't know if they're any good. But
I've heard very good things about them.
yeah, so like if you're into sword and sorcery, I would recommend those too. At least they get to release it on like ROM, which I've been waiting for years.
So I think that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. So tune in next week, and we'll be bringing you some more reviews. Until then,
I'm Average Joe Squad.
you are fucking not. You liar.
Shit! Why did I do this again? Just sign us off. Just sign us off. All right. Just sign us off. Just sign us off. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm Average Joe Squad.
I'm Son Getsu 134.
And as always, we ask you,
Remember the hyphen.
take care.